I would like to demonstrate the difference between lock and share mode and for update on MySql. So lock and share mode and for update both have in common that if they are used in a transaction, the row cannot be updated by another transaction. So let's see that in detail. I start on the left side and say begin a transaction first. Begin. And then I click select where select from Magda where ID is 1 and that I say lock in share mode. So this means this row now is locked in share mode. If I can select it from Magda. I can receive the value on a different connection, and I can also see it if I'm in share mode with a different selection, but I cannot update it. So if I would do something like update Magda set name to Bob where ID is 1, then as you can see here, nothing happens. So this statement waits until this transaction is over. So if I commit this transaction, I don't do any further changes on the left, then the update will take place. And if I use lock and share mode, then other transaction can read it. So as we have seen here, it was locked in share mode, but this statement and this statement, they both could read it. But for update, statements that are locked in share mode or on for update cannot read the statement. This means if I use for update, then this statement would be able to read it, and this would not be able to read it. Let's just try it actually out. So I begin another transaction, then I select something from Magda where ID is 1, and I write for update. Now, if I try this query, this works without a problem, but with lock and share mode, this does not work. So this would wait until this is over. And the same happens if I try to select it for update. So I would just wait. So why does it make sense? When is it used? It's a good question. So I have an example here. If I have a select counter from Magda with lock and share mode, and I would have two parallel queries, and they should just increase the counter, then I could get a raise condition. That means if both queries are in parallel, they could both get the current value, which might be 1. Then they would both increase the counter and store it back. So even though I have two counters, and the counter should be 3 after it, the counter is only increased 1 time, because they're in parallel. So lock and share mode should only be used if I want to make sure that while I read the value of a table, it does not change. But if I want to update a value, I should use the for update key, because this is how the same scenario would happen with for update. So let's imagine I have two parallel queues. If I do the for update, then the value of counter is 1, and the other queue cannot read the value because one transaction is still active. So I read the value of counter is 1, then I increase the counter, and then I store it back to the database as 2. Now I commit this transaction, this is completed, and this is the time where I can read the counter. And this time, the second query will read it as 2 and increase it, and I will and rule 3. So to prevent race conditions, use for update. If you only want to read something and make sure it's not modified somewhere else, use log on share mode. And that's it. I hope the difference is clear and wish you all the best.